Good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
Okay, who's ready for some live girl chat? You guys ready? First up, we have some really exciting news.
Yes.
Voting is officially open for the 50th annual NAACP Image Awards. We are so excited to be nominated again in the Outstanding Talk Series category.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, thanks to you guys. You guys are awesome.
You
We
guys
got to host
nominated
the
us.
show last year, and we would be so honored to win again. To cast your vote, just head to vote.naacpimageawards.net. This is so exciting, right?
Yeah, we even have like a swipe up on our social media.
We do.
If you
Okay.
head on over to our Instagram at The Real Daytime, you can also just swipe up to vote for us. You guys made us win last
to
year.
know. Yeah.
It is because of you and your votes. So we just thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts.
I'm gonna go there to vote myself. Let's vote for ourselves.
Hey.
Yo.
And you can vote more than once. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank
well,
you.
speaking of exciting, we are smack dab in the middle of the Reels tribute to the city known for its bomb cheesecakes. No, cheesesteak. Actually, cheesecake too. But cheesesteaks, Philadelphia. Philadelphia cheesecake is the thing too. It is.
And
It
I
works
love
either
it.
way.
Yep.
And Bryce Harper won't be the only one making big money in Philly. One of our fans is about to win big with the return of the Reels Dollar Holla Bag. Okay, listen up, Philly, because I'm about to shout out a real fan's name and Instagram handle. If I call your name, you have until the end of the show to message us back at The Real Daytime. If you do, you are going to win, show 'em Lonnie, $1,000. Yeah. Okay, so today, we want to hear from, who is it? Erica Loreno, whose handle is at Beauty, B-E-B, 25. Again, that's at Beauty, B-E-B 25. Erica, if you're watching, hit us back right now if you want this money. Yes.
Well, it looks like R. Kelly has waived his right to remain silent, speaking out for the first time since being indicted on 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse. Kelly sat down with CBS's this morning's Gail King. It was an excellent interview, and was asked point blank if he's ever had sex with an underage girl. This was Kelly's response.
Have you ever had sex
No.
with anyone under the age of 17?
No.
Never.
No.
I have to tell you, it's so hard to believe that based on all that we've read.
I'm gonna tell you something, Gail. There's one
I'm gonna tell you something. What the women said about you.
What women said about me. What women. So nobody's allowed to be mad at me and be scorned and lie on me.
Mm-hmm. So they're lying on you. That's your explanation. They're lying on you.
Absolutely.
Kelly also expressed his anger over the charges in an extremely emotional outburst. Take a look.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You killing me, man.
Do you ladies think these are tears of a man who's sorry or a man who's sorry he got caught?
That's a man who's realizing he's about to face life. That's what that shows.
First of all, I want to give it up to Gail King because, that was one of the most composed. Look at that. And if you notice, what you see in the back is a man holding him back.
Yeah.
That's a black woman on national TV, and you stand up and you do that to her. You gonna tell me you don't do that? What's behind closed doors?
You better speak, Lonnie.
Are you serious? I mean, this is the thing, too. I feel bad for anybody, but sometimes in life, you gotta pay the price. And we're not talking about the past. We're talking about what's happening in the future. He has 10 charges he is going to court for. This is what I've always been saying. When you are a victim of sexual assault, you need to make sure you take it to the court, because now you see what is happening. She couldn't ask him anything about what was happening for the current charges because that's being litigated.
Yeah.
This is stuff that's in the past. I really don't care about the past. I'm worried about the future, because I don't want any woman to be hurt like this ever again.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously, we know innocent till proven guilty. Innocent
Yes.
till proven guilty, okay? But there were a few red flags in watching the interview for me. First of all, I'm glad he did say something, because otherwise we sit here picturing that he's unbothered in his house, just doing whatever he's doing, eating at McDonald's, whatever. So I'm glad to see that there's emotion now. There's conviction and whatever's going on with his mind. But the red flags I got was, number one, when she asked if he had sex with underage women, and he affirmed no.
Yep.
All I remember, the one thing that we do know for a fact, is that he was in fact married to Aaliyah in '94 when she was 15. So unless they were not having sex in their marriage, that would be a lie.
And it got annulled.
Right. But still,
but the legal paperwork does
Yeah.
exist.
says
and
that
fact.
married to a
It's
15-year-old.
fact.
The second thing is the temper. I think if you can't control the temper in front of cameras, you know that this is going to be international news. What are you doing to a woman who is more submissive, or a younger adolescent child who is not sure how to react to you? Okay?
Gail King is a grown woman.
Yep.
Exactly.
And the third thing, the third flag for me was major, was when Gail asked, do you think that your past sexual abuse that you've told us about from the age of 7 to 13 has affected you? And his immediate response was, no, it hasn't. Then you saw him deflect and think about it, and he goes, okay, yeah, it has. And then he thought about it again, and he said, no, not me. It didn't affect me. It affected my music. And as a past victim of sexual abuse, I can absolutely tell you there is no possible way that a situation like that cannot affect you. It changes you for the rest of your life. So I just saw a 52-year-old man who perhaps has not processed to be self-aware of what that damage has done to him. And that alarms me
Wow. Yeah.
on a therapeutic level.
Yeah.
Well, two things stuck out for me. One, Gail King, you are freaking amazing.
Yeah, that
Let
was
me
great.
tell you that.
Slow clap for you.
She wasn't afraid to approach him with the honest, serious, questions, and she didn't back down. When he was all up in her face, she was very calm. It was like she was talking to her younger brother.
Yeah.
Like, all right, okay, I know
Robert.
you're having, Robert, I know you're, yes.
By his full
You're
name.
having a little emotional breakdown, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna stay, right here. And the other thing is I couldn't really listen to anything he was saying, because I agree with you, Jeannie. All I saw was a man being backed in the corner and not liking it and going off the handle. My grandmother she said this. She said, a hit dog hollers. And you got to test the spirit by the spirit. So she was like giving him, the hard questions. And honestly, he couldn't handle it. The other thing is, when he was talking about the two young women that he's dating right now, it's kind of like he gave himself an excuse to be doing all of this because the parents are the one who gave the girls, to him. And I think we actually, have that clip of him saying that. And then when you see the girls, like, offending this man, I can only put myself in defending him. I can only put myself in the parents' position, like, oh my gosh. First, I fault y'all parents for actually allowing those kids to be around that, knowing what type of man he is, because this isn't true. Yeah. But then I can only imagine what they're going through when their kids won't even come back to them.
Yeah.
Well,
the
that's
same thing he
strange.
was saying to Gail is the things he's obviously told those children, that their parents are terrible anyway, and they were
the parents have responded.
I haven't thought about that. Let's watch this clip.
Let's check out this clip.
What kind of mother will sell their daughter to a man?
Who did that?
How come it was okay for me to see them until they wasn't getting no money from it?
You're saying the parents handed their daughters, Azurel and Jocelyn, over to you? Is that what you're saying to us?
Absolutely.
Now, Azrael's parents have denied that they have not received any money from him at all, any money.
Following these allegations, lawyer Michael Avenatti released a statement from Azrael's parents, like Lonnie just said, Alice and Angelo Clary on Twitter, that said, quote, "We have never received a penny from R. Kelly. We have never asked R. Kelly for money, and we never sold our daughter to him or anyone else. R. Kelly is a desperate liar and serial abuser of young girls who should die in prison. Ooh. All of the victims and parents cannot be lying," end quote.
Right.
Yeah. See, that's those are those are past. And to be honest, they're grown women now.
Yes.
So I think the big thing with them, is that we wanted to see how they were doing, things like that. Now they're grown.
Right.
They're grown. They can decide to stay in that relationship.
Correct.
We're talking about these future allegations.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to fight.
Here's the major issue I have with just that moment, though. In the interview, you hear him that the focus in getting through this is because he wants to be there with his children. He wants to be a father. And he illustrates what the parents did wrong in these girls. He names that they shouldn't have been at his concert at that young of an age and to be allowed onto the stage by themselves. And he thinks that the parents did wrong in letting the kids be with him and also to accept money from him. So then he is the recipient of the other side of the equation.
He still did it.
He is at fault for activating the other sides of whatever the parents allegedly did wrong. So he's not accepting fault for that. It's like saying, parents, don't let your kids run out in the streets because there could be somebody who abducts the children. So if you somehow, the kids run out in the street and I abduct them, then I'm not at fault either. It's your fault because of what you did to let your kids out there.
Correct, because you can say, if someone tried to sell me your child, I could simply say, no, I will not do that. I refuse to buy your child.
He is part of the problem, but not aware of his wrongdoing.
Well, and not only that, I think the
me.
parents initially were trying to get their children into the music business.
Yeah, and
so,
they did say, yeah.
So I think that's why they brought them to the concert. Evidently, something was going on in some type of communication where it's like, let them come to the concert, let them meet, things like that, or let's show your talent. People do that all the time.
Correct.
You know, people come up to us, they sing in the audience, they want to be seen.
Yeah.
So I can understand as a parent, if you have your child, and they have this talent. But that doesn't mean, and then, that doesn't mean that you accept it. Like what Jeannie is saying is absolutely true. I also want to say that the attorney Michael Avenatti put out a tweet that kind of summed up a lot. He says, the key things we learned from the R. Kelly interview: 1, R. Kelly is a much better singer than he is an actor.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord.
He is desperate and distraught because he knows he has been caught.
Truth.
3, he thinks sexual assault of young girls in the way, way past cannot be charged. And 4, he is guilty. Wow. I mean, people are going in.
Wow. We actually heard also from Geronda Pace, who's actually been here on this show, who is one of the alleged victims, and she actually put out this statement saying, studying psychology has done great things for me. Looking at that clip of Robert during his interview for Gail King, I didn't see R. Kelly. I didn't see my abuser. I didn't want to read him with a biased attitude. What I saw was a man that needs help. For decades, he's been around enablers who never told him the truth. When you've been doing wrong for decades and the people around you make you feel that your actions are right, you tend to believe that you're doing no wrong. I don't believe that prison will help or fix Robert's actual problems. Truth is, he's fighting for his beliefs. In his heart, mind, body, and soul, he believes he's done no wrong. I think asylum is what he needs. 24/7 care and attention. A psych evaluation is mandatory. Mental health is important.
I agree.
Wow.
This is from someone who... Wow.
Well, and I think it's important that we have to, the reason why we have to fight this kind of stuff is because we can't let people think that they can just have sex with underage girls, allegedly, that they could just take people and they could take them away from their families, allegedly. We have to fight that kind of stuff. And it's just wrong. Just because you got money don't mean that you could just take anybody and do whatever you want to do. That's not this country.
And also when he expressed as a father how important it is for his children, he has to at least own the pain of the parents. At least as a father, you should be able to just relate to the parents like, man, I feel for you. If you have a disconnection with your daughters and they don't want to go home or call you, something's
let's
wrong
just be
there.
a great example for your kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His children are growing up seeing all of this.
Yeah.
So you can only imagine how that's going to affect their psyche in the future. And not only that, their friends in school, just saying, start there.
You got a quick comment?
I'll do a comment. Yeah, we asked you guys what you thought of the interview. At Naleli Cruz said he needs to take responsibility for his actions and stop with the crocodile tears, period. Gail King, on the other hand, handled this interview beautifully.